episode of RatG TV with your hosts, Zeus and the Wellandwingnut. And they thought I was the crazy one.
Black magic. You got to know, got to show, it's on the road. So just tell me what you want to hear. Tell me what you want, so just tell me what you want to hear.
Welcome back to another edition of RatG TV. And Steve, you're in the frozen tundra of Hoth.
Yeah, I am. I'm on location for today's show. Really dedicating this week. So,
well, at least you've got your Red Wings toque on, which totally fitting for when you're on Hoth. Right, you're looking good though. Looking good. How's it going, my friend?
Good. You?
Yeah, so far so good. Settling into the new place. Now, normally I'd have a Star Wars background as well because we are talking Star Wars this week. But I decided to go with a tribute to late great George Perez, who we just lost late last night. So we'll be talking about that a little bit later on today in the news as well. But we have our top 5 Star Wars. We're going to say our top 5 favorite Star Wars characters today. I've got mine. The Wellandwingnut has his. You let us know who are yours. And, of course, tomorrow is Mother's Day, so we wouldn't be remiss if we didn't throw in a little bit of love for the mothers out there. And, hey, motherfucker, we're going to do the top 5 fictional mothers that we have. And I feel like we've forgotten the mothers over the last couple of years. Like, I feel like we keep remembering to do Father's Day, but I feel like Mother's Day we've missed a couple times.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But so just in case, we're making sure we're going to make it up this year for all the mothers. And just in case anybody's wondering, it is 4-3 Colorado over Nashville with a little under 6 minutes left in the second period. That's right. Steve's got it going. I've got going on the TV in the background there. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing today. Also, Steve, you reviewed a movie for us. You told us about this movie last week and said you'd be coming back with it this week for us.
Yeah, I watched this one a couple weeks ago, but still fresh in my memory, and came up with a review for it. So Jake Gyllenhaal starring in Ambulance, Michael Bay movie.
Right on. A lot of explosions I'm expecting, and an explosive 5-second movie review from the Wellandwingnut himself. So we're looking forward to that one. That's, of course, brought you. Did Colorado just score? Colorado just scored.
Yeah, 5-3.
There you go. But I am looking forward to that review. It's going to be good times. And, yeah, man, I'm also looking forward to seeing your top 5 where it comes to both fictional mothers and your favorite Star Wars characters. As we said, folks, please feel free to let us know who are some of your favorite Star Wars characters. Now, you could be watching us right now on YouTube or on Facebook. If you are watching us on YouTube, go follow us. If you're not, go to YouTube, RatG TV. Give us a like and a follow and subscribe. Hey, man. And send us a kind word. And that helps us get our analytical numbers up, as I keep being told. But we've got that. Steve, we got news. There's so much going on this week.
Yeah, man.
And news, the movie review this week is brought to you by DocNet, as it is every week, folks. So if you are looking to get some cheap internet in your area or a home phone in Ontario or Quebec, go to docnet.ca. But yeah, buddy. So how do we
let's sandwich them.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Let's sandwich them. Should we throw the mothers at the end?
We'll do the mothers at the end. We'll start with Star Wars.
All right,
then I can dress down.
Sounds fair. And we'll be nice. We'll let you go first as well, so you can get the Hoth out of there, if you will. Yeah, I know.
Sounds good.
All right, so who do you got for your number 5 on the list of top Star Wars?
So I tried to spread my love around a bit and over the decades, and I started with a little movie you might remember called Rogue One. And one of my favorite joints. I had R2 on the list. I'm sorry, R2. I love you. But I had to go with K2SO.
Love him so much, couldn't remember his name.
K2SO.
K2SO,
Yes,
played by the great
Alan.
voiced by the great Alan Tudyk.
Yes, that's right. Hilarious. I love when he slaps him.
Yeah, right.
To keep him, because he's an Imperial droid that was reprogrammed. So
yeah, and I think he would have got along really well with Lando.
Yes, definitely.
Given the chance. So, great pick. So you're droiding up heavily to start.
Yeah. I thought I'd get the droid out of the way, and then I guess half droid, half creature.
I mean, I think even more droid than creature.
Yeah. It definitely has some health issues. Might be COVID. We don't know, but General Grievous, what a great character. The Jedi Slayer, as he's called.
General Kenobi.
He's not called that.
I gained a lot more appreciation for Grievous during the Clone Wars cartoons, though.
Right.
Because I got to see a lot more of him.
Played a much bigger role for sure.
Oh. Sorry, just check it. Got distracted by the Colorado game. I think their goalie's out. Their goalie just left the ice holding his head. Anyways, let's move on.
Moving on, and then I had to throw some classic Star Wars characters in there. It wouldn't be a list if it wasn't the great Yoda. I mean, probably the best of them all as far as being wise and powerful, use of the Force.
Okay, here's my pushback on the wise Yoda. How did he not know that Anakin was just wrong? Like, there was a lot of shit that went down that if he was wise, he should have stopped ahead of time.
Right.
And maybe some of that came with afterwards in retrospect, but yeah, I don't know. I love Yoda though as a character.
The battle scene in Revenge of the Sith in the it's just fantastic
with him and Dooku.
Yeah,
that was a great fight.
No, the Emperor when they're throwing
right. He's got two great fight scenes in the series there.
And then I love how he just backflips all this stuff and then grabs his cane and then starts to hobble away.
Right. Yeah, I can't believe a word he says. He's the true Sith.
He's a trickster. He is.
What if he is? Ooh.
Speaking of Sith Lords, we've met this particular Sith Lord many a time at the conventions over the years.
Shout out to Aaron Russell.
Right. I thought I'd share this pick with everyone. Embarrass my my son a little bit during this one.
Awesome. Darth Vader getting the choke down on you there.
Yeah, man.
Old school. Yeah, that's our buddy Aaron Russell for the 501st. Famous for doing the Jace Wars, as well helping to raise funds for Ronald McDonald House, which is a great cause. And I can't believe that was your number 4. Like, I'm almost, and I don't know if I'm shocked or just doing this for your number 1.
Lisa being very remiss if me didn't include Mr. Jar Jar Binks,
who I think was just dealt a shit hand. And I mean, we found out in the latest novelization that he's like a homeless beggar now, like doing parlor tricks in the town square.
Yeah. Didn't he get dead too?
I don't know if they killed him. But
no. Do you think we'll see him in the Obi-Wan show?
I'm pointing at you, Filoni and Favreau. Do right by Jar Jar. Do right by Jar Jar. Let's get Ahmed Best to reprise his role, and let's show him some love this time. The love that he deserves.
I mean, they're bringing Anakin back, Hayden Christensen.
Right.
So I don't know. Bring it on. I say. Good list. Listen. I knew Jar Jar would be on there. Number 1 though. Number 1. I mean, all right. I mean, you're the Star Wars guy.
My Yoda and Vader impressions aren't as good. So
fair enough. All right. Sorry. Let me just got a message there, and we're gonna get started with my top 5 here. Now, my top 5 are, as you know, I was a Star Wars fan, but not like a diehard fan. Not until the Clone Wars cartoons came out, and then that got me a little more hooked into the prequels, and and I enjoyed the sequels aside from The Last Jedi. Loved Rogue One. I love a lot of the extended universe stuff, like the non, mainstream Skywalker saga stuff as well. So my list heavily reflects this, obviously. Number 5 on my list, someone I'm surprised you didn't have on your list, and that is Mr. Din Djarin, Mando himself, the Mandalorian. Doodle-doo, boom, 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 boom. Just a badass, almost. A badass character. We're seeing that even though people are getting Boba Fett, which they've all clamored for, Mando is the top, the top Mandalorian that people want to see. So, and he's great, and I like him so much. I got to tell you, number 2 on my list. I'm sorry, dude. I'm really sorry, but it's Rex. I got to go with Rex from the Clones, Captain Rex. I love that people are saying that now they have him retconned in the remastered Return of the Jedi, so that when they show that big battle on Endor, he's actually one of the soldiers there fighting along with them. So he's one of the original clones that survived and didn't execute Ahsoka during Order 66. 66. Yeah. Execute. And Rex is a great character, of course. Rex could be so many of those other clones are all the same. I hope we get to see Rex in the Ahsoka series. And that's just another role for our guy, Tamara Morrison, who's already playing Boba Fett, right? Because they're all the same clone. So, we got a comment. Mitchell, what's up, Mitchell? If Jar Jar is in any of your list, we can't be friends. That was Steve's number 1. His number 1 was Jar Jar, Mitchell.
No regrets.
I have regrets. I have a lot of regrets. So Rex was there. Number 3 on my list. Listen, you had Yoda. I had to go with Baby Yoda. I went Grogu. Grogu giving up the Jedi way to stay with his boy Mando, which we found out during the Book of Boba Fett, which ended up just being basically a Mando series again. But the sky is the fucking limit with this character, and it makes me wonder where he was during, is he dead come the time of Rise of the Skywalker? So I don't know, or is he on, or him and Mando somewhere doing something? Because they would still be alive. Mando would be a lot older at that point.
Yeah.
But because he met Luke when Luke was a young man. So, and they were about the same age that it looked like at that point. I'm down for that. Next, the picture I've got up here. Listen, I'm going with Ezra, the only Ezra that is cool. The only Ezra that's welcome in Hawaii. Not Ezra Miller, but Ezra Bridger.
This Ezra is better than Ezra.
You could say that again.
Little music joke for you there.
Was that a Canadian band?
I don't know if they were Canadian, but
I know it was played a lot on Canadian radio, so it made me think it might have been. But Ezra Bridger is a great character from Rebels as well. Trained by Kane Jarnan, who is played by Freddie Prinze Jr. But right there in the back too, we're waiting to see that motherfucker in the live action as well. So we're gonna see some of that, I'm sure, coming up soon. Sorry, Zeus Order 66. I'm with that. It will be done.
Send all your hate mail to wellandwingnut@gmail.com.
And my number 1, it should be no shock to anybody. Like if I take Steve out of the shot here, and keep him in the shot. But either way, there's a picture of my number 1 right underneath him, and that's Ahsoka. This is Anakin Skywalker's Padawan. For those of you who don't know, This is Snips to his Sky Guy, and I got to watch her grow up through the cartoon series during the Clone Wars, and then her actually reject the Jedi Council and move on her own. And she's got dual lightsabers. She's still basically a Jedi, just not in title. And we saw with the great Rosario Dawson is taking over the live action. So that's my number one. I think she's the most powerful Jedi. I don't know if she's the most powerful Jedi, but she's my favorite Jedi for sure. Ezra Bridger might be the most powerful Jedi, right behind Rey. Yeah, I said it. I'm sorry.
Send all your hate mail to Zeus Fleming.
Do it. I don't care. Listen. She's so fucking OP. She's so and there's gonna be. Here's my thing. Had she been a dude, had that been Finn, people wouldn't have cared. They would have been, oh, that's, wait, I shouldn't say that because they might have cared because he's a brother. If that had been Poe Dameron that got those powers, people would have been like, oh, okay, yeah, that's all right. There's gonna be someone who's gonna be the next one. And I had no problem with Rey. I think Rey's a great character. Honestly, she almost made my list.
Yeah, no, I definitely love both those strong. Star Wars has always had strong women characters.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I don't get the hate modern day against strong female characters. It's like I really think a lot of those people would have hated if Alien came out today, or Xena, or Terminator 2. Just saying.
True.
Just saying. True that, yo. True that. So that's our top 5 for our Star Wars, folks. Let us know what yours are. Don't forget, we do have another top 5 happening at the bottom of the show, or the end of the show, if you will. And that will be where we do our top 5 fictional moms. So get those in as well. That's what we do, yo. We give you double the pleasure, double the fun.
On Mother's Day.
On the day before Mother's Day.
Right.
On UFC Day.
Yes.
See. All right. So that is it, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, do you want to go right into news? You want to do your movie review?
We can get the movie review out of the way if you want.
Yeah, all right.
News.
Yeah, we can do that. Well, so folks, if you've never seen the show before, if this is your first time tuning in, Steve's 5-second movie review is the most hype movie review on all of the interweb. That's right, I said it. And in said interview, I put 5 seconds on the board. Steve takes those 5 seconds and gives us his most in-depth movie review. And Steve, this week you've got a Michael Bay classic. Well, maybe.
I do. Ambulance wasn't a huge box office success. Don't think that's much of a shocker, as Michael Bay has gotten a lot of the opposite of love lately. So, but yeah, I checked it out. I like Jake Gyllenhaal. I like Jake Gyllenhaal when he plays these types of roles. So I thought I'd give it a try.
All right. Well, folks, before we move on to this, just to let you know, if you are looking for a way to save some money, this in this economy, everybody's looking for any way to save money. Well, why don't you do yourself a favor and cut those big internet bills and save yourself some money right over Steve's head right there. Go to docnet.ca, hooking you up for internet in Ontario and Quebec. That's right. Go to docnet.ca. Tell them RatG TV sent you. And hey, you might get a little special something. I don't know. I shouldn't have said that. Maybe you don't. Just go to docnet.ca right over there. Have DocNet connect your home to the world. Boom. That's it. All right. So, Steve, with that being said, it's a good time for us to get to this movie review of yours. So if you're ready, and I'm sure the folks at home are ready, it's time for Steve's 5-second movie review by Steve. Yeah. Jazz hands. I don't know what's going on there. The Vogue. I keep disappearing in my
hands.
All right, Steve. So you reviewed the movie Ambulance, I should say, by Michael Bay, starring the ever creepy Jake Gyllenhaal, and I always
And
forget
some
the
other
guy.
people.
Yeah. My list 5: Mando, Qui-Gon, Darth Maul, Luke, Obi-Wan. That's a strong list. Strong list. All right, Steve.
I'm pretty sure Obi-Wan would be top of my son's list as well.
Well, and he might be on our list next year after the series.
Who knows?
So.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to put 5 seconds on the board, sir. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, you may begin now.
It's not an emergency, but I would check this one out.
Seems to be very all right. So all right, so what did you think of Ambulance starring Jake Gyllenhaal?
Again, Michael Bay has a reputation for his cinematography and his type of the slow motions, the big explosions, the crazy camera angles, and there's no shortage of the Michael Bay type style of filming in this. But that aside, if you're not a fan of that, I still think it's a pretty solid movie. It's an adrenaline ride. It starts very quickly and does not slow down. It's packed full of action right to the end.
Which is kind of what you expect with a Michael Bay film as well,
Right.
I would assume, yeah. Well, that's good. Well, what do you give it out of 5 then?
I gave it a 3.
Nice, not bad. Right down the middle of the road there. Well,
Yeah.
just above middle of the road. So Michael Bay, Michael Bay does some good movies too. Like they're not all Terminator or Transformers.
Transformers, right?
Right. So, but yeah, did he do the original Bad Boys?
I believe so. Is that Michael Bay? Yeah, I think so.
Him and Shane Black, I think.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not positive, but yeah, he's not always just explosions, but there's always explosions.
Right.
I'm sure there was some in this movie too.
There was.
There was. Right on. Well, there you go. Ambulance. Go check it out. Jake Gyllenhaal just as creepy as normal.
Yeah, he plays a very, very intense character in this.
That's what he does. He does it too good. I just meet him in real life. Just kidding. Come on the show, Jake. Speaking of coming on the show, and I should have grabbed a post for this. Tomorrow we are doing a special edition of the Hop This Way show. It'll be on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, where we're going to have Nicholas Pauling, who stars as one of the antagonists on the show. You usually see him in the fight scenes, but also Tom Weston Jones is going to be on the show, who plays Officer Lee, who's the Southern cop who defects to San Francisco. And wow, that's gonna be pretty awesome. So we're excited to have him on the show tomorrow. Make sure to tune in and check that out tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time. You can watch that right here, or you can watch it on the Hop This Way YouTube channel. What's your favorite Michael Bay? Wingnut and Zeus. He did the first 2 Bad Boys.
Right.
That's right. I think I don't want to be that guy, but I kind of have to look right now just to see what he's done. What about you, Steve? Anything just jumps out at you right off the?
No, not really, because really all I can think of right now is Transformers and the stuff
Bad Boys.
stuff we've seen recently.
Yeah.
Check it
Well, here,
out.
I'm gonna scream some out.
Yeah,
to you.
Armageddon. Armageddon was a good movie.
Yeah, The Rock. The Rock is my favorite, right there,
Rock. Yeah.
with Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage.
Pearl Harbor, another epic movie.
I don't know if I like Pearl Harbor, but I don't know if I put it on my thing. Oh, he directed Black Sails, which is pretty awesome.
And I see here too that
The Purge Anarchy, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He did Your Pain and Game.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah, he was a producer on that though. So yeah. So let's look at the director stuff. Yeah. 6 Underground, Transformers, Bad Boys 2. Yeah. I don't think I'd have to go through it to get a top 5 though, honestly. And maybe we'll do that.
That's a whole show.
That is a whole show, because I'd have to go through these, because he's got an extensive resume here. So, but yeah, good question. Let us know what yours are, though. Please do let us know what yours is. Now, Steve, we've gotten to that point of the show where, we let the folks know what's been happening in the world of pop culture and entertainment. And we do that each and every week with a little segment called This Week in Geek. Well, 'tis that time again where you bring us nothing but bad news. Before we get to the bad news, we haven't seen our buddy Luke in a while, so just want to say for Luke, Clanny misses you.
He does. And
that Clanny Blumhouse movie's coming soon. All right, Steve. You start us off every week. You are our Dr. Death, and you're the guy that lets us know who passed away in the world of entertainment.
Yeah, this guy, I mean, you've seen this guy in literally everything. In the 80s, he's been in everything from Cheers to Married with Children, moving to the 90s, George Carlin Show, Friends, Seinfeld, Curb Your Enthusiasm, and on the big screen as well. I mean, you may not remember him from Heat, but you definitely remember him from Brewster's Millions and Overboard with Kurt Russell. Just a great character actor.
Yeah, that was a pretty sad one. And like you said, you see him in everything. He's just one of those guys. You see him everywhere. What was his name?
Mike Hagerty, at the age of 67.
Did they have a cause of death or no?
No, I didn't see a cause of death for this one.
Too bad. Well, as we say, our thoughts and prayers go out to him. And not the only one we lost.
Right.
We lost... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead. As last week, you took the reins with a legend in the comic book world, and this week was no different.
Yeah, no different at all. As you see, I've got the tribute that DC Comics artists did for the great George Perez. As you can see, that's a picture of him right there. This is me and my kids with him years ago. My kids are all adults now. My girl wearing the penny Big Bang Theory shirt is 18 now. So, but that is George Perez. Those are signed copies of his famous Justice League versus Avengers crossover, which was huge. And we lost him just late last night. Pancreatic cancer he was battling, which I mean, he knew he wasn't going to make it, and I'm pretty sure he turned down, like he didn't want to do any of the treatments for it, and just he wanted to live out the rest of his life as best he could. Some notable things. One of the he revolutionized DC again. He got them being serious, much like Neil Adams did. His run on the new Teen Titans was fantastic. That was that's when we got Cyborg and Raven and Starfire and Beast Boy, who are all now considered, the mainstays of those teams. He also, him and Marv Wolfman, who he worked with all the time, were behind the very famous Infinite Crisis, which even if you're not a comic book fan, you remember the scene, the picture of Superman holding a dead Supergirl's body in his arms. I mean, from that to Wonder Woman, he's done it all. He was at Marvel for a while. And like I said, as I showed in that picture there, I was lucky enough to meet him a couple times, and once here with my kids, and then another time getting to have dinner with him. So he will definitely be missed. And like I said, one of the most influentials out there. So rest easy, my friend. And that's it for the deaths.
Yeah.
I mean, we always had another one in this next story.
Yeah. Chris Rock, I mean, wherever he is, the news seems to follow lately.
All right.
We had an incident at the Hollywood Bowl in California where a Netflix special was going on with a bunch of comedians. Jon Stewart there, Jamie Foxx, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, as you see there, being tackled by Isaiah Lee. Stormed the stage with what we found out later was a replica gun with a knife in it.
How American is this? You hit a knife in a plastic gun.
Yeah. Fortunately, Dave was okay. Jamie Foxx came to his aid pretty quickly, as did some other comics, and they messed this dude up pretty good. As you see his broken arm there. Yeah. Chris Rock was quick to grab the mic and try and lighten the moment by saying, "Was that Will Smith?"
That was awesome, though. How quick, and just a pro as usual. But
yeah,
if you're Chappelle or Chris Rock or any of these guys, are you afraid now?
Yeah, a lot of the comedians spoke out on this. One in particular, Howie Mandel, who, if you have Netflix, you can check out his new game show, Bullshit, pictured here. Pretty funny show, concept for a show. I enjoyed it. But, yeah, we know Howie. We know about his germophobia. He's dealt with anxiety, depression, a lot of things. And he said he's afraid to get on stage right now.
And I can't blame him. I can't blame him or any other comic that says they're afraid to go on stage right now. Now, this has been happening for years. This has been happening since jesters in front of the Kings. And if they don't perform right or say a joke that the Kings don't like, they would kill them. But, I mean, nowadays, we'd hope that we're more evolved than this and be able to take a joke better than this. And here's an idea. If you're going to go to a comedy store where you could potentially get offended by what they're going to say, don't go.
Yeah.
You are not entitled to that show. You're not. Like, if you don't like something, just stay away from it. Don't get upset for no fucking reason.
Easiest thing to do.
Like, really, just stop looking for reasons to be outraged. Please. I'm just saying. There's so many other things in the world to be worried about than people being happy and having jokes. And I get it. If it's at your expense, then I know it feels shitty, but you're gonna listen. There's one, Steve, if you don't want to get picked on at a comedy club, what do you not do?
Don't sit in the front row.
Right? If you sit in the front row, you know you're going to get picked on. There's that chance. And I'm not saying this guy was that or anybody else. I'm just saying, when you go to a comedy show, there's certain things that you have to know ahead of time and you should come to expect. And you should know your comics.
Not all the jokes are going to land, and not all the jokes are going to land for you.
Exactly. And if they don't land for you, it doesn't mean you have to land punches. So
you don't go and watch a movie and you don't like one scene and go, "What the fuck was that?" Like, that was just dumb.
Right.
I mean, some people do, but
yeah, well, you usually wait till I'm gone.
Right.
Then I make a TikTok video about it. You know, on an unrelated note, do you remember there was, like, back in the 90s, just before the Attitude Era and during the Attitude Era, there was the divas. And do you remember there was a particular diva that kind of started it all off? And her name was Sunny.
Yeah.
Do you remember Sunny at all?
I do remember her, yeah.
Right here, Sunny, who later was linked with numerous wrestlers, Shawn Michaels being one of them, destroying a few marriages. Not her, just them together. Like, you know, takes two to tango.
That's right.
But Tammy has had some issues in and out of trouble with the law for a while. And, well, looks like Tammy's back in trouble. Tammy Sitch being the real name, or shoot name, if you will, of Sunny. Yeah, she's been linked. TMZ was reporting that Sunny is behind bars right now over a fatal car crash from last month that cops say was caused by her being under the influence. She was arrested Friday night and hauled off to the Volusia County Jail, where she was booked on a number of charges, including felony DUI, manslaughter, and the most serious of offenses. She was also rung up on 8 charges, and most of them are all DUI related. So I don't know, man. Like, just stop.
Yeah.
Like, because she's got to be a little bit older than us, right?
Yeah, I would say a little bit, 5 years at least.
So it's time to chill, man.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta stop. Yeah. Talking Cat, I don't know who you are, and I'm loving that you're participating. Thank you so much. And I agree. Lock her up. She is locked up, but she's looking at possible life in jail now. So, I mean, you're gonna drink and drive. You're gonna cost people their lives.
Yeah.
You forfeited yours, really. And I don't mean kill her. Sir, Steve's the old one, who's younger than me by a couple of months. All right. Let's not talk about Sunny anymore. She's making me want to bang my head. It's like trying to figure out how they figure out who goes into the Hall of Fame, in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and the years recently, at least, have not been particularly kind to traditional rock and roll artists. We see a lot, and you know what? I'm okay with this, but I do think it's time to change the name. And I think I say this every year.
Yeah, same.
It's an artist's Hall of Fame, and that's cool. That's
Hall of Fame. Yep, music Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Dolly Parton, of course, we talked about speaking out, saying that she didn't think she was worthy of being nominated. But if she won or got in, as we said, she said that she would put out a rock and roll album next year. So we have that on board. And a lot of people behind Judas Priest getting in on the, I guess, special.
Right. Like,
it's like,
we don't want to, but people
here
won't
you
shut up
go.
about it.
This is the Hall of Fame trying to get out ahead of themselves for not putting Judas Priest in with just a regular vote.
Yeah, I guess.
It's just ridiculous. But congratulations to the artists that did make it in. I look forward to watching the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony every year. So,
yeah, I saw a clip of LL Cool J on stage singing "Going Back to Cali," and Eminem came out, and it was quite awesome to watch. I'm with you. I'm okay with them all being in there, but I do think they should just call it what it is. It's the Music Hall of Fame, and there's nothing wrong with that. There doesn't need to be a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Can I give you a controversial opinion that has nothing to do with this? But I don't know.
I mean, we don't really do that here, but sure.
Is it time to get rid of gender sports? Is it time to get rid of the WNBA, women's leagues, and just have leagues where you can make it no matter what your gender is? And I know that's a difficult thing. And I was just thinking of it just because we're talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and things like that. I mean, because I was thinking about the transgender woman who was born a male, who became a female, who was in the swimming, right?
There was a weightlifter too, I believe.
Right. And I was thinking maybe it's not fair that way, right? And just because the natural, you'd think biological advantage, and I'm not saying
it's mechanics.
Exactly. But I've got beat out so many times by like Amanda Benoit to be on baseball teams or other people to be on hockey teams. And like there are women that can make these leagues. So if we're making it all exclusive, shouldn't it just be one league then? I know it's a weird question. It's
and it's again, then there becomes a new line where it's, can they play baseball or can they play football and hockey?
Play them all.
No, I agree. I'm just saying that I just think that becomes a whole new argument.
Yeah. I mean, football, aside from linemen, what really can't they play though? And even the lineman thing, there's going to be because those women that are big enough, like China could have played linebacker.
We have a women's football league, so and
Right.
it is rough.
Yes,
If you've
and
ever seen
some
it,
of those women could play.
It is rough.
Place kickers, fucking quarterbacks,
Yeah.
wide receivers. So, I mean, why not? Understanding that a woman can build to a man's build, but yeah.
And then we have the whole Oscar Pistorius thing where he was trying to get into the regular Olympics being mechanically modified.
Right. That one bugged me too because he was faster with with his prosthetic legs.
Yeah, his strides were noticeably longer.
Yeah. So, and that's just it. And we're talking about fairness, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah. And that was a weird tangent to go on, and I'm sorry about that, folks. It's just, you know how this show works and how my head works by this point.
It's a circus.
And I just want to know where, because I do almost feel that sometimes when I'm like, it feels like we could just have just one league, you know, because could a dude just go play in the WNBA?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, like it reminds me of back when I used to play recreational ball hockey in my late teens and early to mid late 20s. Like we had the co-ed leagues where if a girl didn't at least get one assist on the goal, it didn't count.
Oh, really?
And guys could only score so many goals before they tap out, and then they
Right,
have to start
okay.
passing the puck.
Like in baseball too, right? Like
Right.
guys were only allowed to hit so many home runs.
And like you said, like we had Amanda Benoit on our high school boys hockey team, who was clearly better than all anybody we had. She played for the Canadian women's team.
Yeah. And she beat me out for selects in baseball as well.
Yeah.
For left field. Trans women should not be playing women's sports. It's basically men against women. Unfair competitive advantage. And right, biologically, yes. Yeah. And we're not talking like I'm all for if you feel like you were born in the wrong body and you should have been a woman or a man, whatever it is. I'm cool with that. Like I always say, whatever, but I'm talking, we want to be absolutely fair. I mean, here's my question. If they didn't transition, would they be allowed to play in those sports? I know it's always okay. It's okay and it's applauded, and as well it should be if a biologically born female makes it into a man's sport, like we said with Amanda and Manoa Rayon. There's another female goalie that's coming up right now. There's the soccer player who's trying out, who just kicked who was consecutively kicking 50 plus field goals. Like it's only a matter of time, I think, where we see every day. Like we could see DBs for sure.
Yeah.
But going back the other way, it just doesn't seem to work. Like you can't be a guy who just couldn't make it in the NFL and then go play in the women's football league.
Right.
Or could you?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, it is. Phew, I thought pulled. Yeah, it's a weird thing to talk about on a geek show. I know that. It is something that should be talked about, though. I do honestly believe, and just that I want to know, and
we say it all the time. We geek out to sports. Like we are sports geeks, us too.
It don't work. I don't know it don't work, but yeah. Oh, guys going the other way. Yeah. But that's kind of sadly the way it goes. And we should get back to normal news. Because they're still men like beating up a woman. No, see, I don't know about that. Like physically, yes, they've got, but you still get women that are born that are bigger, like the Chinas. And
like I said, if it comes to a debate over what sports they can compete with, there are no limits, because there are women that can box and I'm sure knock out a lot of guys that are already pro boxers. It's just
right.
But how many of them are there?
Exactly. But and it's not even so much that we say if the women can get up there, and if you're born biologically a woman and you get up and fight with men, go ahead. And you can do that. That's awesome. We applaud that. But when we see someone who's biologically a man go down and then say join UFC, and who was biologically born a man and try to fight another woman, it almost feels not fair. But even when you look at that, though, it's to play the devil's advocate, they'd have to fight within their own weight division anyways, and then that totally changes things. So maybe it does work. We don't know. We're not casting judgment. We're just putting it out there and trying to have an honest conversation. You know what's a weird conversation? Freddie Prinze Jr. is opening his own wrestling company, his own pro wrestling company. And the funnier thing about this is Freddie Prinze Jr. used to be a writer for the WWE. Now, Freddie Prinze Jr. has announced that he's, from his last few movies that he's made, that he is opening up his own wrestling company. And he also came out with this tweet, which I thought was too funny, where he says, "Relax, everyone. I beat the Rey Mysterio storyline in WWE 2K. I'm pretty sure I got this," which is pretty epic. Anyone who has a WWE 2K video game, yes, the Rey Mysterio is a storyline that you have to go through his career and beat everyone he has. Yeah, I mean, why not? The guy has been a scriptwriter for the biggest wrestling company in the world, and he's got money. And not only that, the guy understands cameras, lighting, and everything else from directing and acting in movies since he was a child. And he comes from a famous family, so entertainment is in this dude's blood.
For sure.
Yeah. What do you think of Freddie taking?
I mean, given all, like you said, his credentials just in as being a creator and an artist in that fashion. I mean, I think anybody can make it given their drive and their experience. So all the best to him.
Yeah, and it's obviously a passion project for him, right?
Yeah.
So, like you said, all the power to him, and hope the best for him. I hope it's a great product that he puts out.
I think the WWE needs competition to make it better. Any good sport, any good competition thing needs a competitor to stay on top of their game.
Yeah. Well, they've been losing a lot of weeks to the new company AEW. Right. So, I mean,
and this happens every 10 years or so. We get our ECWs or our
Yeah. Well, we had WCW versus WWE, and ECW was that fringe group that like we would go watch. That was like hardcore shit. And yeah, this could be Freddie Prinze's opportunity for his company to be that ECW, because ROH is gone now, Ring of Honor. Right. Impact is kind of that right now for wrestling fans or non-wrestling fans. Impact Wrestling, they've got, to me, that's my favorite show to watch right now. But I'm excited to see where it goes from there. It's got me banging my head, saying I'm not worthy.
And you weren't worthy if you thought that this song should have been switched around. Obviously, there's a famous scene in Wayne's World where they're in their car and they're banging their heads along to Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen.
Right.
Lorne Michaels originally wanted a Guns N' Roses song because they were at the top of the world right at that point, 1991, 1992. Mike Myers fought him tooth and nail and ended up getting his way. He got Bohemian Rhapsody. They were actually able to, it came out in February of 92. Freddie Mercury died in November of 91. So Freddie actually got to see the cut and the scene, and nice. He approved of it. So
right on. That's good to hear. That was the second time that song became a number one hit. Because it was number one when it first came out, and it was kind of nobody really heard it for a while because it's such a long song to play on the radio.
Right.
And then Wayne's World just reinvigorated them all. It'd be cool to see a Wayne's World 3, right? Like, because they got 1 and 2. They never really did a.
Yeah, we don't have this in our story. We do have a Mike Myers story, but we have heard rumblings of an Austin Powers 4 for a while.
Well, we do have that story. That's my story next. Right here was Mike Myers actually just said this week when out doing the presser for his new movie, Venom or whatever you called it that you watched, intravenous, and I don't know what's called.
The Pentaverate.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Ventriloquist. He said that he was completely open for an Austin Powers 4. I am too. What about Mini-Me though? What about Vern?
Yeah. I mean, we got the Super Bowl commercial a while back there. Was it this year or last year?
Oh, maybe a couple years.
Yeah. I mean, again, I like Mike Myers. Wasn't a huge fan of that class of Saturday Night Live, although, I knew the sketches. I knew the main ones. And there's funny parts in Wayne's World. There's funny parts in the Austin Powers movies. But, I'm not a huge fan of his type of comedy.
Yeah, me neither usually. Although which movie of his I absolutely love and still watch whenever I see it come on? So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Right.
I don't know why. I fucking love that movie though. It's just so good. Heed pins new. Kid's got a melon like a head on a melon on a toothpick. I switched your next story for. I figured why not talk about the series was talking about Mike Myers, anyways.
The Pentaveret on Netflix. I remember seeing the trailer for this a while back, and I was just like, "What the fuck?" And we found out that he was going to be playing he plays more characters than you see here. He plays multiple characters,
which I kind of figured.
Yeah. I started watching it, and I was like, "Nah, this isn't for me." And kind of kept it on in the background, and then caught myself laughing my fucking ass off, like literally. And I could not shut it off. I blew through it. A lot of these episodes are pretty short. Some of them are like 20 minutes, but it's basically about a secret society, the Pentaveret, that runs the world from their dark corner of the universe, and
right.
It is so messed up. There's a lot of Canadian jokes in there. He plays one of the many characters he plays is Ken Scarborough, who does news in Toronto for a station called CACA
instead of CHCH.
Yeah, so it's pretty funny. I really enjoyed it.
That's awesome. Well, hey, I mean, maybe I'll check it out. I don't know. Now, let me ask you this thing though. Mike Myers always gets big actors and actresses that play in his stuff. What does he have anyone in this one? Like,
yeah,
notable?
there's a lot of big cameos for sure.
Oh, all right. Who's the biggest cameo that you can think of that people will be happy to see? That's not too much of a spoiler.
Yeah, so not to maybe to spoil, we'll start with the first couple episodes. So one of the members of the secret society, there's like a 5 or a 6 or something like that, and they have to replace him. So they kidnap Michael Keegan Key from his regular life as a nuclear physicist and scientist, and add him to the Pentaveret team. And he's like totally unaware of what's going on, and they're indoctrinating him into the society. And he's like, wait a minute. He's like, what about like my life? And they're like, oh, we killed you off. And he's like, how? And he ends up finding out that he died trying the latest Instagram challenge, trying to kiss your own asshole.
It's called the starfish.
The chocolate starfish. The chocolate starfish.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank you, Facebook users 3642.
I said to my oldest daughter, who doesn't live with us anymore, she was over today. I said, we've hit that next level of fame. I said, you're famous when we're at a convention and someone walks up to us and says, hey, you're Facebook users 3457.
Yeah.
Did somebody say that to her?
Yeah.
20con, yes.
Oh, that's
Who the
awesome.
fuck they know who I am?
Well, because you're a Facebook user.
Oh.
That's what happens. Well, hey, you know what? People just want to see you out there and they just want to give you a great big hug. Speaking of hug, there was a big hug. This is my segue. There's a big hug for Star Trek fans this week. It was the season finale of Picard season 2, which we have a season 3 coming as well. We knew that. They filmed both of them back to back. I think this was a brilliant move on the part of Patrick Stewart, because getting towards his age, you never know, right? So they filmed that all out, which is going to be great. We got our first episode dropped the same day as the last episode of Picard. We got our first episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which is the story of Christopher Pike, who was the original captain of Star Trek before Shatner came on, before Kirk. And then we saw it was Anson Mount who played him in Discovery. So this is kind of a spinoff from there. But we're seeing Uhura. We've got Spock. We've got number one, who's Rebecca Romaine. And we've got Kirk. James T. Kirk's dad is in the first episode. Spoiler, sorry. But it was let me just say Thursday, for those of you who know, it was a mind-blowing day for Anson Mount. That is a spoiler without being a spoiler. Yes. And my favorite thing, though, Picard ended. Q was there. This is a bit of a spoiler, too. I won't say what happened, but this is the last scene, one of the last scenes. And as a Star Trek fan, my God, was it so nice to see Picard and Q hugging. Do you know who Q is at all, Steve?
Not really, no.
QAnon? Yeah. He's like a god. The very first episode of Star Trek Next Generation is the two of them crossing paths, Picard and Q just makes his life a living hell throughout his life. And yeah, this is it was a good finale, man. It was really good.
Well, it's kind of hard to segue from that to this next story, so we'll just do that then.
That was rough. That's what you were looking for that entire time. Are Steve and Steve still doing the horror podcast? Yes, every other Tuesday or every other
Thursday. So this Thursday will be on. Yes.
There you go.
It's at 7:30 on Facebook or Two Severed Heads at YouTube.
No, you can't.
This next story, not the biggest fan of this next actor, although I do like some of his movies. Because I'm not a fan of his acting. I'm not a fan of the person.
Yes.
But this next role, please make this happen. Tom Cruise was talking to comicbook.com and was saying that, he would not be opposed to reprising his role as Les Grossman from Tropic Thunder. He appeared as him at the MTV Awards and got a great laugh out of him. So I think he said he'd have a lot of fun with it.
Every time we talk about this, I'd be remiss not to mention it. I had no ideas until the end credits. Once he started dancing, that it was actually Tom Cruise. I was like, "Oh my God, that's Tom fucking Cruise!" And I don't mean I read it in the credits. It was just the same. I don't even know what was about his dance. I was like, "Holy shit!"
It wasn't the sausage fingers and hairy knuckles.
No, I mean they did a great makeup. Like when I look at it now, I could definitely see that's Tom Cruise. But I mean, watching the show, not one time did I think that was fucking Tom motherfucking Cruise. Like, what? But why? I don't know. That's so. Are you down for this though? Like,
yeah, I will be at the theater to watch this if this happens.
Is there any mention at all of, like fucking anybody else that would be reprising the roles? Like, would RDJ be back? Because I thought I read something about him wanting to come back for it.
I mean, could RDJ reprise that role in today's?
Well, yeah, he's not black. He was
he's Australian,
South African.
Yeah.
And at the end of the thing, he took the.
I mean, should that role not go to a South African?
South Africans are white.
I know.
Predominantly. So, I mean, no. No, dude. Listen. If fucking Henry Cavill could play Superman and an Australian could play a fucking Norwegian.
Pretty close.
I'm just saying.
I just asked the questions.
Listen. Yours was more controversial than the question I just popped up out of nowhere. No, it wasn't. I have this next story and I have all the shit written down and I lost it. I have this story. I have the picture. So they want to have a space hotel ready for 2025, but I don't have the rest of the story for it. So just so you know, they're planning on having a space hotel by 2025. Could be Elon Musk, could be somebody else, could be the Amazon dude, Jeff Bezos.
So
aliens.
I actually got on the waiting list, and it was a lottery, and my name got pulled. So I actually have a reservation for this in 2025. I use my American Express card, and the limit's only like 3,000. So good luck trying to charge that.
Well, have fun. Are you bringing Amber? If you went to,
Yes.
I mean,
Amber
I'm
would
envious.
go?
Amber's been to space many times, and I've
No.
never been.
the space case isn't the same thing as being going to
What
space.
was that, you fuckhead?
I said, I love you like a sister-in-law. Yeah, so yeah, we'll go to space. We'll all go to space if it is. Well, it's a hotel. Like, I mean, Bezos is setting people up to the stratosphere, and this has got to go farther than that. So I don't know. Anyways, I'm done. I don't want to go. Listen, it's too savage for me.
It definitely would be savage. I mean, not as savage as Fred Savage being dropped as the word they're using from the latest Wonder Years reboot. Allegations of inappropriate behavior have surfaced. There is an investigation. They said after that, at that time, they will make a decision on his future.
Well, I mean, much like his height, his future seems to be pretty short. I know that was rough. What did he do though? I want to know what he did.
Yeah, nothing more than what's that?
Well, nowadays, like you never know if it was just him.
That's it.
Is he being an old school director, and is it inappropriate just him yelling at an actor, at a younger actor or whatever, like they would have done in the old days? And I'm not saying it's right, but you know, like there's old school coaches that are getting fired nowadays because they can't talk or relate to the new athletes. So I don't know. We need to know context. That's all I know, as usual. Without context, it's all pretty meaningless. So maybe not meaningless, but we've all heard the stories that there's been a lot of the casting in the MCU was supposed to go different ways. And James Gunn is talking about some casting that almost happened. Now, before I tell you the casting, here's some other ones that almost happened that were supposed to happen. Before Robert Downey Jr., the role of Iron Man was supposed to go to Tom Cruise. There's even rumors that he would be playing Superior Iron Man at some point in the MCU, maybe an alternate version or from a multiverse of some sort. Not only that, Jason Momoa was originally supposed to play Drax. He dropped out because he didn't want to keep doing the same kind of roles as he had done in Conan and then on Game of Thrones. But it was so far that they even had the concept art. That's Momoa with no hair and what he would look like as Drax. And of course, there was Emily Blunt, who was supposed to play not only Black Widow, she was up for Agent Carter, and Captain Marvel, but she hasn't done any of them. Now, here's the whole reason why I bring this up. James Gunn came out and said before Josh Brolin, they had talked to some other people about playing Thanos, the Mad Titan. The two people in particular that were close to being up for it, Pauly Shore and Pee Wee freaking Herman. And Pauly Shore almost didn't get the role because he asked for too much money, according to James Gunn. Josh was just somebody who came up when we were trying to think of who could play Thanos. Josh was somebody who came up, and I'm a big fan of his work. And he was somebody who, that's a lot of he came up. I'm thinking he was stoned when he said this. He goes, we talked about Pauly Shore for a long time. It didn't seem to be too great. He wanted too much money. We talked a lot to Paul Rubens. He didn't really seem to be Thanos. Then we came to Josh Brolin. I think he seems to fit more than those two guys. I don't know. I want to see Paul Rubens Thanos now.
Yeah, pretty weird choices, but hopefully someone can do a deep fake and entertain us all.
Or if not, Boss Logic, if you're watching, can you just do that? Do up that picture for us. Let's see what those guys would look like, because I'd seriously be down. But yeah. And speaking of down, you got a dude that's down, but maybe not out.
No, season 4 of David Letterman's talk show on Netflix is coming out May 20th, and 6 episodes. And they leaked 4 of them, said that Will Smith will appear, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Billie Eilish, and Kevin Durant. Now, these were filmed before the Oscars, so there won't be any talk of the slap heard around the world. But
are we over the slap now? I mean, like, I feel like all we're talking about is shitting in bed now. I want to see. Listen, I think I'll watch this one. That did stink, eh? I would want to see this interview, but I want to see Will Smith. I want to see an interview with Will Smith away from Jada. Like, I just want to see stripped down. I want to see someone who could. I want to see him on Howard Stern. Put him on Howard Stern.
Yeah,
like Howard Stern would get the real shit out of him. Like, he's no matter what people want to think of Howard Stern, the guy's actually a brilliant fucking interviewer, because he'll ask you the most outlandish shit in the world, and you're like, no. And then when he gets to the question he really wants to ask you, you're so relieved it's not a "would you have a dildo up your ass" question, that you answer it. So I mean, that's my pick.
Yeah.
Don't you want to know more though?
I do. Inquiring minds want to know.
It's sad that I want to know more. It really is. And then we talked about James Gunn earlier. As we see, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 has wrapped. He says, I love this amazing cast and crew. They're beautiful talent and kind souls. I'm a lucky human to have them on the journey with me for nearly a decade. He had another tweet that came out just afterwards saying that Gamora was missing from the picture because she was busy with an unnamed actress that they couldn't show. So, yeah, cool. Coolio. Can't wait. They've got a Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which will be coming out 2023. But they've also done the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which will be coming on Disney Plus at some point. Christmas. So, right on. What about you, buddy? What you got for us?
Season 2 is all we're going to get of this next show. I watched the first few episodes of the first season just to check it out. Didn't stay with it, but I know you watched it.
Yeah, I did.
Canceled by Peacock, so.
I mean, I get it, but because it is bad. It was bad. But, I mean.
Is it as bad as Punky Brewster?
I liked Punky Brewster too.
You know what? I actually watched all the Punky Brewster, so
I watched all of it. It was better. Punky was a way better show than Saved by the Bell. But what I liked about Saved by the Bell is they made so much fun of themselves, especially the second season. Like, they went all in on fucking, like, Zach making jokes about, wow, we spent a lot of time or money on these pranks that we could have done, like fixing the neighborhoods. Or it was funny. Or, remember that time Jesse almost OD'd on energy pills? So, I mean, it was a good show. Sad.
Awesome.
Sad.
R.I.P. We should have had it in our deaths.
Yeah. Well, hey, you see the girl on the bottom left there that's in the green pants? She's in The Neighborhood now, the TV show The Neighborhood. So,
oh, cool.
Good for her. She's still working. I like her. All right. Well, and then the last story, Doctor Strange 2 is on track to make $190 million, and that is without being released in China and India and a few other places because of a reference to a gay couple. And it's literally one of the main characters, just like the comic books, her parents are two women. Get the fuck over it. And they're still going to make all the money in the world without this. They're still going to make more money than a DC movie will. And they're already looking like they're going to beat the Batman opening weekend, which is saying a lot because that did really well. Now, I watched the movie opening night. I will give you my try to give you a spoiler-free review here. Here's what I tell everybody. I like this movie. I'll give you my rating. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. But there's a big but with this. This movie's all over the fucking place. And if you're not a fan of comic books, a lot of this is going to go over your head. And it might get frustrating. And you'll be like, why? And you'll be like, who's that? What is that? Why? This doesn't make sense. But it's a Doctor Strange. There's so much stuff to do with the comic books as well as like Doctor Strange comics as well as America Chavez's comic books. But there's so many good shit. We all know, this isn't a spoiler, we all know that Patrick Stewart is playing Charles Xavier in this movie. But he's not Charles Xavier from the X-Men movies. He's Charles Xavier from the fucking 90s cartoon. He comes out in the yellow fucking wheelchair, which they show in the latest commercial, so that's not a spoiler either. But when he comes out, they play the fucking music. And I was like, oh. I cried a little. I peed too.
I was just gonna say it.
I peed a little. But it, like I said, if you're a comic book fan, I think you'll really enjoy this movie. I think if you watch the MCU, I think you'll like the movie. It won't be like, I don't think it'll be your top 3 movie, but I think it'll be one of the movies you like because Sam Raimi's a fun director. They do try to add some horror elements in this. And if you watch this and you tell me that it's a horror movie, I'm definitely just going to start watching horror movies because, but yeah, it was Sam Raimi horror, if anything. So, which is more comedic, I find.
Right.
So, but yeah, it was a decent movie, 7.5 out of 10. So that's my rating. That's my Ryan's 5-minute movie review. Yay! And that's it. By Darknet. All right. So, wow, we got through all that, but we didn't finish our last top 5.
We did not, and I'm going to let you go first because my last 2 are surprise.
Oh, all right. Pittsburgh's winning 1-0. I'm just saying. I think I'm going to win your hockey pool, though. Stop laughing at me. Nobody else has got my picks. I'm sure of it. All right. Let me go with the top 5. We're going top 5 moms in honor of Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there tomorrow. Keep doing what you do. And we hope you get spoiled tomorrow. But in your honor, we are starting with number 5 on my list. Listen, we grew up at a certain era, so mine are all over the place. But starting off, my first one, I think this was around the mid 2000s. I love this show. This is a show I wish was, and I think it is on still, but I don't get the channel. But I really like this, and I don't care who knows it. Reba. I may not be the biggest Reba McEntire songwriter and country artist fan, but this show was funny. The first time I fell in love with Reba McEntire as an actress was it Holes she was in?
Tremors,
thank you. She was in a few of the Tremors movies, right? So she was great there, but on this show, single mom, a powerful, woman as well, and took care of her whole family on her own, basically, while dealing with her ex-husband and his new younger wife, who ends up becoming like one of her best friends on the show. The show is ridiculous, but you know me, I love these kind of fucking corny shows. So, did you watch Reba?
I didn't. Amber was a fan of it though, or sorry, Facebook user
Of what?
Reba.
Oh, yeah, I love Reba.
See,
So?
see,
And then Kevin from Shameless was Van.
yeah.
And
man.
then Still Magnolias. The first season was good. Now it sucked. But that was the girl who was the daughter.
Oh,
Barbara Jean is hilarious.
she's in a lot. Who? This Barbara Jean?
Yeah, I love her, man. She's the
And
funniest.
she was on Baby Daddy as well, which was good.
She
She was good on Baby Daddy. Honestly, that was funny as well. So my next mom on the list. This is really going back, and this would have been, I think, the late '80s. Would have been this show, a spinoff from the Carol Burnett show. It was a skit on the Carol Burnett show, spelling Vicki Lawrence and young Ruth McClellan from Golden Girls and Betty White, and that was Mama's Family. Do you remember the show?
Yeah, I was not a fan. My parents watched it and was not a fan.
Really? No. So what was it about the show you didn't like? I mean, Carol Burnett was on the show.
I liked Tim Conway.
Right.
I was definitely a fan of his, but outside of that, I guess maybe at that age, I just didn't get it.
Right. Fair enough. And we watched a lot of the reruns those at my house. So, but yeah, I really love that show. I would watch that one again now, honestly, just to see it. But that was another one. Was they had the daughter on that one was a lot like the daughter-in-law on that show was a lot like Barbara Jean from Reba. You know the one I'm talking about from Mama's Family? Yeah, right.
She was on like All My Children, eh?
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, she was. You're right. That's right. I remember that.
I never seen her on. Yeah, she was a skank, that one.
Yeah.
Before she got married.
All My Children was a guilty pleasure of mine. I'm not going to lie.
Mama couldn't stand her.
And then next on my list, number 3 on my list, and I said this beforehand, there's certain pictures you can look at and you can hear them. And this is one right here. Facebook user, I'm going to put this up and tell me, can you hear this picture?
Yes.
Right. Kitty is definitely one of my favorite moms out there. I'm not sure why I put her so high on the list because it's, I don't know. She's that mom.
But no, without being funny, she's funny.
Yeah, and she is so sweet and caring, and she just cares about her family. And you can see her even when she's breaking down. She's like,
yeah.
Exactly. You know,
she just pours more margarita in her.
Exactly. I absolutely love her, and I can't wait to see that 90s show to see if she's just the same way. And then number 2 on my list, I mean, if you're going to have a mom, you got to have a mom. This mom, on the entire list, if any of these moms are anything like my mom, I think this is the one that's most like my mom.
Okay, yep, I see that, yep.
And I'm not saying nowadays my mom, but
right.
My mom back in the 80s and 90s when she was running a strip bar and working at a taxi company and and a factory at the same time.
God forbid. I wish her a long, prosperous life. But if you had to actually identify only the back of her hand, you'd be able to police catch that, right?
You know what? As petrified as everyone was of my mother, that was the one thing I never got was a beating, which I probably should have more than
probably a lot of these though.
Oh my Lord, those and just the like, oh shit, or my mom just called me out on shit. I'd be like, I'm running away. She's like, all right, right there. Like, I'm calling grandma and grandpa right now. They'll tell me you're not allowed there, though. I'm calling Steve's parents. You're not allowed there either. Have fun on the street. But yeah, Sarah Connor, the ultimate mom who's, no nonsense. She'd even give her son up just to ensure his safety. And quite the badass. As we say, these lists are fluid, though.
Right.
She might not even be on my list the next time I do this. But my number 1, I mean, this is the same every year almost with us. Like, I have a hard time not putting her and the guy
Mr.
character, Mr. Huxtable, not Mr. Cosby, but Claire Huxtable. I mean, the ultimate mom. I mean, people want to say June Cleaver, but it was this woman. We're talking about a lawyer, a mom, a civil rights activist, a powerful, a feminist, but not a feminazi, if you know what I'm saying.
Firm but fair and stern but loving.
Right, like the total mom, like what you want to raise you, and Claire Huxtable, number one, always on my list. So that's my top 5. Let's hear your top 5, mamas.
All right, so I misinterpreted that. I thought we were going for best moms. So
Okay.
I picked who I thought the best moms were.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah,
my first one is from House of a Thousand Corpses. I mean, Mother Firefly. This woman would do anything for her family, and I'm including kill. I mean, what mom could you say would do that? So, to Mother.
She almost made my list. I'm glad I changed her at the last second. Like I dropped her right at the last second.
Okay. I didn't know if I was supposed to high five there.
I would.
Oh, okay. You're putting your hands up saying I would. Okay.
I would.
I thought that was a high five moment with a Firefly. Yes.
Nice. Yeah. So I almost had her on my list too.
Right. Number 2, I was upset when this mother died in the film because I mean, Juliette Lewis's character, Mallory, clearly says you didn't do nothing. So like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, what? How'd you make your list then? You just wanted to put what is her name? Edith?
Edie McClurg.
Her and I on my old account were friends on Facebook. Because when Facebook first started, her and I both had mutual friends at Humber College, and there was barely anybody on Facebook, and she was one of the first people to add me. And it was funny. So yeah, we were friends for years.
She's great. I love Edie McClurg and everything.
Yeah.
And then what greater tribute to a mom to like dress alike and just want to be just like you, like, I mean, that to me is the epitome of a great mom, when you just want to emulate them in every way.
Oh Jesus! Is that you?
Such a psycho. You're such a psycho.
Yeah.
And then, so this next one, I couldn't find a good picture, so I had to go into my my personal collection for this one.
Uh-oh.
And that's Lois Griffin.
Oh, Peter. Wait, the background, the shadow.
Oh, that's good.
There's no way that was from the show.
No, it definitely was not.
Like, I know McFarlane could be a little fucked up, but no.
I did some editing to clean that one up. I missed the shadow. I'm
Evidently. That's definitely Quagmire. Was that George Bush on the picture? Oh, Jesus. Oh, covering the bush with Bush. All right. Oh, Steve, my
And then my last mom, I mean, I didn't see this movie, but I mean, just based on the title, like, I mean, it's in the title, Mommy Dearest. Like, she had to have been a good mom. And here we see a picture of her, like, like making goofy faces, trying to make the kids laugh, just being that fun mom, right?
And, you know what?
She was horrible.
And she's, you know what? No, she's really nice, and she teaches kids how to hang their clothes up properly with the clothes hanger. See, that's a deep cut with the clothes hanger, like on their arms and stuff, because she was like this movie. I was a kid when that came out, and I never watched it because I was petrified. And I just knew that you kept metal clothes hangers away from my mother because you didn't want her to go Mommy Dearest. Not that she ever did anything like that, but I was always worried just because Mommy Dearest. Yeah. You have issues, kid. You didn't put Amber on there.
I did.
Oh, she's not fictional.
That's right.
Oh, hey, look at that.
She actually said I should put her on the list. I'm like, babe, you're not fictional.
No, I'm real. I'm a real thing, baby.
I mean, Facebook users somewhat fictional.
Right.
Show up at a con if people recognize me, then I'm not fictional.
You can see anything at a con though.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, and yeah, you see a lot of fictional things there. Pittsburgh just scored again.
Oh,
think.
fuck Pittsburgh.
Whoa, easy there. Easy. Wasn't she an American Horror Story? Yeah, she was. That was Jessica Lange.
Joan Crawford.
Her too.
Jessica Lange.
Mommy Dearest?
She played
No.
her.
No.
Yeah.
You idiot.
Whoa, easy there, Amber
Faye
dear.
Dunaway, wasn't it?
I'm not
Was
sure.
it Faye Dunaway? I thought Faye played her. I get Jessica Lange and Faye Dunaway mixed up too, but Faye Dunaways are older.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
it was
Faye Dunaway.
Faye
it was
Dunaway.
Faye Dunaway. Yeah. Whoops. I looked it up and it went to a different movie called Mummy Dead Dearest.
Not the same
Mummy
story.
Dead, Mummy Dead and Dearest.
Jessica Lange was, yes. She was the one with the one leg in the circus. Whatever. She was in American Horror Stories, a bunch of them.
The character she plays is Joan Crawford. That's why I had that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, there you go. That's a pretty good Mother's Day list. What are you doing for Mother's Day tomorrow?
I always get up early. My parents are early risers, so Father's Day, Mother's Day, birthdays, I always get up nice and early on and go for a visit. So
Nice.
You come home, we'll make brunch.
Well,
when
right
we
on.
come.
When we come home, yeah, we'll make brunch.
And what about Facebook user? Does she get a nice Mother's Day?
They sent me cash this week, and I'm happy with that.
Nice. That's the gift.
I got smart kids, man.
That's the best gift.
I
It
know,
is her
right?
favorite thing.
Money.
It's a gift that keeps on giving until it's gone.
Right. Well, hey,
I
man.
got some cash for my kids. I'm happy with that.
Was it the Beatles said? They say the best things in life are free, but you can save it for the birds and bees. Give me money. Yeah.
And we always make brunch on Sundays, so we're gonna make that anyways, just like we always do.
Nice. Right on. I'm going to watch hockey and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And,
Well, we'll
keep
be
winning
with
this.
the week.
Win this hockey pool because people are. Listen, Pittsburgh's winning right now. I took Pittsburgh to win this series. Let's go through this. real quick.
Pablo has Pittsburgh to win the cup.
Oh, yeah. See, that's where he's going to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where he's going to lose. See, he was going to win.
He's like, they got one more run in them.
Yeah, not now.
No. Oh, yeah.
That doesn't. So I've got the Leafs. Who are the Leafs are playing? Tampa Bay. I've got them in 5, which maybe that might be a little iffy, but who cares? I've got them winning, and that's kind of all that really matters, really, for right here, right? I've got the Panthers winning their series. Who are the Panthers playing?
They're playing the Capitals.
Oh, that's right, and they're up in that series too, right?
The Capitals won today, so I think it's
It's
2-1
2-1
Capitals
now,
now.
yeah.
Oh, really?
2-1 Panthers.
No, 2-1 Capitals.
Oh, really? Oh, I picked the Capitals in one of my pools.
Yeah, that's just because you picked them doesn't mean that's what the
I know.
series is.
Oh, shut up.
Okay.
You're an asshole.
Listen, I believe in you, Facebook user.
Yeah, it was 6-1 Capitals today, 2-1 series lead.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. So I took that. I took the Panthers to win that series. I took Carolina in 6 to win their series. And I took the Pens in 6. Then I took the Pens to beat Carolina. Then the Leafs to beat Florida. And the Leafs to sweep the Pens in the East. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. But then I have them losing in the Stanley Cup against the Flames. I got the All-Canadian final. I believe. Pittsburgh just scored again. They did. 3-1. All right. Well, hey. You should watch some hockey.
Yeah, enjoy the playoffs, everybody.
And we should be back next week. If not, we'll let you guys know ahead of time or as soon as we can. But, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the show. And anything you want to go out on there, buddy?
No. A couple other stories. We know we got an announcement about a new Jackass project coming out. So there's that to look forward to. The actress that plays, I have it here, Hannah Waddington is stepping away from Ted Lasso. She plays the owner of the football club. She's dealing with some health issues, so we wish her the best. She's great on that show. And yeah, that's it, man.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Bring everybody down before we leave.
Yeah, okay then. Well, right on, man. And I think that's everything I've got as well. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. I hope I don't have to see that ever again.
Good night, everybody.
Oh my Lord. All right, 7:30. Check out the horror show. That's right. Two Severed Heads. Warrior fans, tune in tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time, where we have Tom Weston on the show, who plays Officer Lee on Warrior. With that, for the Wellandwingnut, it's your boy Zeus. Hope you all have a good weekend.